I experimented with Dylon's black hand dye and I really liked the result. Now I will dye trousers made from cotton and linen to plum red using the batik technique. Suitable fabrics are cotton, linen and viscose. Wool, silk, polyester cotton mix and polyester viscose mix will dye to lighter shade. This dye will not work on pure synthetic fabrics, including synthetic threads. You can read more from the product label. Every pack like this is meant for dyeing up to 250 grams of fabric. It is marked here. That's approximately 2 t-shirts. You should also consider the color mixing rules. For example, a yellow shirt and blue dye will give a green result. Wash the fabric before dyeing to get rid of all production chemicals and stains. I will try the batik technique and therefore this time I will leave the trousers dry. But to get smooth uniform color, the fabric has to be soaked. I will use a scale, salt, some rope, gloves, small bowls, a bigger container and a bath for rinsing. Pour 500 milliliters of warm tap water into a measuring cup, about 40 degrees Celsius. I'm pouring the water into a jug, where I will dissolve the dye. I'm adding a dye powder into a warm water. Stir well. I'm pouring 6 liters of warm water into a dyeing container. You will need 250 grams of salt for 1 pack of Dylon hand dye. I'm pouring salt into the water and stirring well. The salt will fix the dye into the fabric. Now I'm adding the dye and stirring thoroughly. I am submerging these tightly tied bands into the dye water. This needs continuous stirring for about 15 minutes. You must soak the fabric first if you want a smooth and uniform result. I will experiment with this small piece of cloth to see if I get a smooth uniform color. After stirring it continuously for about 15 minutes, I leave the fabric into the dye water. And during the next 45 minutes, I will come back to stir it from time to time. Now the fabric has been soaked in dye liquid for about 1 hour. It's time to rinse. I'm squeezing it to get excessive dye pigment out and then remove the rope. The fabric must be rinsed in cold water and multiple times. I rinsed it many times but didn't get the water to clear. The dye pattern is already showing. And the plum red cloth meets my expectations. I'm washing the dyed fabrics in the washing machine together with other red colored clothes. I'm also adding a small white cloth to see if the dyed fabric stains. I'm using a delicate program at 40 degrees Celsius and a low spin cycle. I will let it dry naturally on a laundry rack. The product label says to keep it away from direct heat and sunlight. The experimental piece of fabric has also turned out nice. The white cloth that I also put into the washing machine is still white. It didn't stain. The most exciting moment is to see the final result in the end. If you have any questions, then you can leave them in the comments. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.